Hello, what's up everybody? This video we're going to be talking about mids, playing Bounty Hunter into the mid lane. Specifically, we're going to be talking about dual mids. Uh, Now, dual mid is not something that Bounty Hunter does really well, just straight off the bat. He's the hero that does really well being the extra, the plus one. And you achieve that by being invis and getting in the right position and then springing a trap on your opponents. Dual mids, not something he does well, and you're going to see that in these two games, both of which I lose. Not just because of the lane, game's complicated. I also don't play perfectly in either of them, obviously. Uh, but yeah, so the first game is this right here. It's still pretty decent quality. We've got a top 1,000. I think this guy's actually a Smurf. I think he's like, this is his Smurf. I think, probably wrong. Anyway, so it's a SF and Lion mid against a Quap and Bounty Hunter. So Quap's a pretty decent player, and we've got Divine 0 and Divine 2. So we'll get straight into it. If you look at this lane, Quap and SF, just 1v1, it's Quap might have the slight advantage. I'm not a mid player. I don't know the intricacies that well. I don't know it intimately. But I think Quap has a slight aggressive edge until the SF gets souls. So in a 1v1 can go other way. If SF does not have help this game against a Bounty Hunter Quap, he's going to be absolutely destroyed. He will be annihilated off the map. Might catch up later, but in the lane at least, it's going to be very difficult for him. So it's somewhat mandatory that he gets help from his team this game. So it's a good play for them, good tactical play from them to do that. This game, it's this sort of thing. I'll slow it down right now. This sort of thing has been happening a little bit more recently for me, where the mid laner will not actually contest rune. The mid laner will not contest rune where I can harass him. You see their Doom actually placed a ward, and I can tell that because of this slot missing. I've told Warlock, and this is really unfortunate. It just misses the obs. So there's a really good start for us that we just automatically get 3 bounty runes by the simple fact of me being a hero in the game. They don't even want to contest it, so that's nice. So you see mid here, they actually commit 3 at the start. There's a dust on the Pudge, and there's a sentry there. So I'll bring up the sentry range. I'm right on the edge, and I'm not sure what the go is. Just kind of feeling it out. I know they can't kill me unless I get dusted and rotted to death. So playing conservative. Now this is why you see here. This is why BH isn't a really good 2 vs 2 mid. There's 3 ranged heroes, and I'm the melee hero. So if I'm to walk up, especially into a sentry where I'm not entirely sure of the location, it's very easy to get stunned and into either right clicks or further on razors. So I've decided to just let the Quap get as much solo XP as possible. I'm still leeching a little bit, which is bad for me. I haven't adapted to the new XP range. So here I've been waiting to get this sentry, right? So I can actually do something in the lane. And this is probably lane losing right here. I'll replay it just again. One of the very few things you can deny a hero from in the game. It's very, very unfortunate for us that SF goes from 3 souls to 15, 16. His damage goes from 55 to 55 to what is like 13 plus 2. He gets like another 25 damage, 30 damage. So very, very hard for us now. So I've backed off. I'm looking for the Lion or the Pudge. This is the time when I can actually go in on, right? We've got rid of the sentry. This is the situation you want as Bounty Hunter. Right? Look at the work that we do. Look at the work. Nice blink. And SF is forced to retreat, almost doing all of his HP. The thing about playing Bounty Hunter into the mid lane is anytime you are actually hitting the hero means you're not here. So anytime you're hitting the hero, a good mid player will then use that opportunity to run the career up. And that's what happens here. So he gets regen, which is a bit unfortunate. There's regen, and now Quap is in a little bit of trouble. But that's fine, he's got his bottle, he's got a salve. So we're still in it. We're still in it. Pudge has gone bot. You know, he's another melee hero. He doesn't want to drain more XP. He's just gone bot. Fair play. Ooh. Oh, terrible timing. Alright, so Quap gets harassed out again, getting the bottle off Courier. I'll bring up the last hits and denies here. So it's 8-3 and 5-4. We're winning, or we have been winning. You know, the last hits. And Quap dies under tower. That is not a play I'd recommend, but it does at least bring the souls of SF down, and I'm able to get the last hit and get away, which is nice. I'll show you that one more time in a bit slow-mo, because there's a very specific mechanical thing that I do with BHC that you should learn. Not that I'm a god, it's just that you know, the hero. If you want to trade and you want to deal damage to your maximum potential, you need to learn how to use Shadow Walk. So Quap's healed up. I don't think he knows the line here. I think that's the game breaking thing. He doesn't know lions come back. And I am walking over. If he waited a second or so, he'd see me show him. But you know, takes a risk, takes a gamble to win the lane. Doesn't pay off for him, but we trade. So I've got Shadow Walk here. I'm getting an extra tick of damage, so I deal 93, and then activate. And in that 1 second fade time, use that extra damage to get another kind of nuke hit. Now I'm still invis. I'm still invis because I hit during the fade time, and that means I can escape, and I can escape dying to the tower. I lose. You know, you don't get hit in invis. So Bounty's a pretty decent hero to dive tower and then escape. So yeah, if we had vision on the line there at any stage, you know, it would have been better. We wouldn't have made that play, but we didn't, so that's fine. You know, it's a good play from the line, standing in this little bit here. Really good play from him. So I think they brought up another sentry, and now they're gonna do what I've done: push the lane in, and then de-ward, so the Quap can't get the ward with his Tango. So you see now, from this point on, it's even in CS right now, but from this point on, the SF will just dominate. There's a window with Quap and SF where Quap has to win and apply pressure. And if you can't keep the SF souls down, he will run away with it to an extent. So I'm back. I brought observers. I probably should have got a sentry, but there's 3 in stock. Our Warlock hasn't bought them, so I bought them and deciding to try to ward up, get vision on the supports when they rotate, scout out the river rune. Quap's got a bottle, so he's gonna want that regen. I don't know where the lion is, and he's checking top rune. So I'm just keeping it safe. Then we'll try to ward up as much as you can. So that's where the sentry range is. I'm trying to find out if the lion is around and not die. So was going to go on the SF, saw the lion, back up because he's got 2 levels in raise now. And there's a lot of nuke damage from them, and not much nuke damage from us. So we need to, in a situation like this, where, you know, before level 6 and high levels of Scream of Pain, there's not much nuke damage on Quap. And before I get lots of levels in Shuriken Toss, there's not much nuke damage on me. So, you know, we have to, it's a bit of an attrition in this lane. So what I can do is just keep tabs on their supports. And that's what I'm doing here now. I've seen that he's got 2 observer wards, so I don't want to spook him. He doesn't know where I am, and he's thinking that I'm somewhere else. Not the case. So this is really fun. I love doing this as bounty with any other hero. You know, the moment he's placed those wards, Earthshaker rotates over, which is really good. And then using that Shadow Walk again, dealing a lot of damage. And then, see, straight up, I'm going to buy 2 wards. I'm going to get, immediately, going to get the money back, and immediately I'm going to get extra experience for yourself, because wards now do give experience. So, back to mid lane, you see the difference, Quap isn't getting denied that much, the difference is in this number here, 7 versus 17, and the growing disparity here, 20 versus 17. As far as sniping the courier goes with bounty, I think I've just got clarities and got sentries and come back. As far as sniping the courier goes with bounty, you can't. There's a timing window that you can only really exploit in the first 3 minutes when it's walking. Then you can one-shot it easily. The moment it gets flying, you basically need either 3 levels in Shadow Walk or level 6 to do it every time. If you want to have like a 70 to 80%-ish chance of getting the courier, then you can do it with 2 levels. And that, 80% of the time you might one-shot it, but 20% you'll take 2 shots, which means that the enemy can respond. So again, controlling wards gives us an opportunity. This Pudge gets a deny. I'm very sad about that. It would have been two support kills, which would have been really good, and something Quap really needs. Her way into this game is not through the lane anymore. Her way into this game, it's not that bad. Almost level 5 versus 6 and something. Her way into the game is through rotations and kills, and ideally on the cores, but the supports are easier. So this ward has still got about 5 to 10 seconds on it. I've mistimed that and copped the raise. No pressure on the SF. We probably need level 6 on Quap now to kill him. So that's kind of the laning stage in a dual lane mid setup. You see Bounty's strengths and weaknesses. He's straight up not very good in a 2v2 situation. That's just how it is. To reiterate again at the start, what you really want as Bounty is pressure in other lanes, or at least the ability to roam around. So I could have gone to other lanes. We probably had a kill lane, maybe up top. If Warlock was a hero with the Sun or Slow, it would have been easier, but Slardar's a hero you can kill with. Bot lane, Earthshaker, not really. Earthshaker's like a Clockwork, not even. Clockwork's got some battery assault kill potential. Earthshaker's a very defensive laner until he gets, maybe 6 for the nuke. So I think we're going to cut this game right here and go on to the next one. I've shown you everything about the lane. I'll try to keep the focus narrow. So, well, before we go on, I'll ask the question, ask it out loud. Is there anything that could have done differently or could have done better to go with the lane? And the answer, obviously yes, execution could have been better. But in general, thematically, not really. These guys played it, I don't want to say optimally, but they did well. They played the lane well. SF lane. If you go on them, they stun you. SF's going to get souls eventually. If it would have been interesting to see how the game went. If we didn't get that deny on the line, that was huge. That was really huge. Really unfortunate for us. But yeah, the answer from me would probably be to rotate to other lanes. I think I could have gone bot and gone on the Pudge. He's the weak one. You could have maybe gone on the Doom. If I was to play this game again, I probably would have rotated more. But in games like this, with the MMR discrepancy like this, if everybody is an even player, everybody has an equal chance of like outskilling or outcarrying based on skill. In these kind of games where you have a huge disparity between players, well, yeah, a significant disparity between players, then you see why I stayed mid. I wanted to get on top of this guy because he's by far the most likely to really exploit an advantage that he gets. Yeah, so as it is. So the next game, see, you win some, you lose some, boys. But the last game was a win, so it's all good. So this game right here. So again, this is a dual lane mid, or at least it's a mid with a lot of rotations from both teams. And I've got a Quap with Bounty again, and we're against an Ember Spirit. This is the same guy actually, same guy playing the enemy. Yeah, and he's got a Tusk. This guy, this Tusk player is a Bounty Hunter player. He plays it really well. So it's another situation where as Bounty, you can only do what your hero enables you to. It's a bit of an oxymoron, but you know, and a hero like Tusk or a hero like Lion is simply better in these kind of engagements. Lion for zoning and harassing and in a 2v2 situation, and Tusk in a roaming situation. Is a more powerful roamer, I would say, because of his snowball and ice shards. Like he can initiate from anywhere, which basically gives him the same initiation ability but better as Bounty Hunter, as well as a stun, which is nice. So Janata slow is really negligible. You know, if you didn't have an Orb of Venom on Bounty, you would have almost zero roaming potential, honestly. That's why it's so important. But Tusk has Ice Shards. You know, if a well-placed Ice Shards is just, you know, there's nothing better than that. So again, I think the big difference is the Quap this game doesn't have. He's not a top, 2,000 or 2,000 player, so there's a bit of a, you would expect these two players to win, just based on this simple MMR that's higher than us, whatever. So again, kind of similar. We hold on this game for a little while. Wait, I'm talking silly. It's not the Quap mid. I've misled you. It's not the Quap mid. It's actually this guy mid. It's a Necro in a bit of a throwback. It's a Necro. How could I be so silly? So yeah, still same thing applies as far as players goes. Divine 4, good player, but not a 900 player or a higher. Yeah, so it's similar to last. Lane goes kind of, doesn't blow out huge, but it's not great. So we'll get right into it. I think I should, in the end of last game I should have shown you, but the last hits between SF and Quap blow out pretty big, especially with Quap rotating out around. So it goes to like Quap, SF like doubles Quap's last hits and like triples or quadruples the denies. So even though it was even in the first 3 minutes, it just beyond that, it just massively blows out. Such is the nature of some matchups. So we'll fast forward this stage a bit. Again, I do the same starting items. I think they're just you need a sentry, you need kind of clarities if you're going to be using Shadow Walk, you need Orb of Venom to roam, and you just need tangos, right? So it's just default. If anybody has better suggestions, please let me know. But yeah, we'll fast forward this a little bit. I'll show you the Tusk starting items. Basically the same. He gets a Mango because, whatever. Tusk is the hero of the day. So this game, I'm actually going for top. I've learnt from previously, Ember Spirit's not even going to go for Rune. So what we're going to do here is go for First Blood. So I'm scoping out, I'm leading these guys, and we're scoping out, see what happens. So I'll show you the fog, right? And I'll show you the fog of Radiant. So we'll start and immediately surrounded on all sides. So even a hero like Jug, oh, that was a nice cast. So even a hero like Jug, he's going to go down to 4 heroes. And a surprise initiation. So that's really good. we get 3 runes. The only one they get is the Magnus. Wait, no, actually. Yeah, the Tusk's on it. He gets this one. Luna backs off. He doesn't know that these guys are starting back. So the other reason that mids won't go for rune against bounty is that it's really important in creep block, and you see that in this lane especially. Really important in creep block, because if you can get the creep lane here or the equilibrium here, what am I able to do to you, right? If it's here, I can start hitting you, and you've got to run back all the way to here. But if it's already here, I can't hit you. So, you know, well played to him. That's the right thing to do, and that's why. So Tusk is basically gunning for AA. They wanted to, if it was here, Tusk would be probably up here, or maybe he's on me. But AA is looking to harass mid, and just gets done. I'll go back actually. They also place a ward here, which is good. Good for them. It's very unlikely for me to de-ward that. Yeah, so bit of a disconnect here between me and AA. If I was with AA, then we could just harass. Like we'd get the kill first. It's not first blood, so it's not too bad. But yeah, in that kind of situation, in a try versus that, you need your 2 supports to be together, to be united force, so that doesn't happen. So you can't be picked off. So it's a mistake from both of us, I'd say. Yeah. So I don't know that this ward's here. I've placed this one, but they've got. I get seen by this ward a few times, unbeknownst to me. So this is a situation we can go in. Creep lane's in a good position, and here I'm able to go. However, Tusk is back on the scene, and he's brought a sentry. And him being a smart player and being a BH player himself, is just holding to see what happens. So this ward is just out of reach, which is nice. He doesn't have dust. I'm only ever scared of like dying early to dust. Sentries, they don't have the control to get you. But yeah, you could say at this point, I could be going on the Meteor, and I probably would if I had the choice again, especially considering I don't even get the bounty rune. So there's a lesson learnt there. If Tusk were to leave, that's when I should go in and harass, right? You know, it would be much better if this guy had, 50 health or was dead instead of 300, where with the health that he has, he can walk a Necro and do rotation from the Witch Doctor. They get a kill. So really well played to them. They share tower damage, so I can't get a kill, a return kill, and they use this opportunity to get the courier. So you can see, I've kind of chosen none of the objectives, or at least I've tried to get all of the objectives, and I've got none of them because of that. If I was focused on harassing the Ember Spirit, I could have done that, I had the opportunity. If I was focused on protecting the mid lane from rotations, I could have seen the Witch Doctor come in, and I would have done that. And they're the objectives. This bounty rune isn't a real objective. So, it's something I'm learning as well as far as runes go. I began to prioritize bounty runes when I started roaming, try to get my patterns in line with bounty runes. But the more I play bounty hunter in the higher levels, the more I'm seeing that's it's a bit of a trap that you find yourself in. The real runes are 10 times more powerful, 10 times more useful, and you'll see this coming up, especially for the mid laner. Especially that I've seen this guy has a bottle. Oh, he died again. Holy shit! So I'll replay that, as you see the bit of a snowball effect, right? So I've been kind of called over to bot. There's Klopp's getting a real rough lane. 1916 vs 2-0. And he gets XP now, so of all times to rock up, this is not the time, right? We just don't have kill potential. But I've gone for the Witch Doctor. But during that time, my mid lanes has been initiated on from a TP in the fog by Tusk, and this is an example of why Tusk is like a more powerful roamer than Bounty. I mean, look at this initiation for both heroes, right? Gets the shards off. There's just nothing that the Necro can do, and this ward doesn't really show that. You know, both mid lanes kind of have that ability to TP into trees. But this area right here is really hard to play into for the Dire team, you know, because it's difficult to ward that. You know, you can't like ward into the trees. You just can't. So yeah, misplay from me again. Not playing around objectives. I've gotten both bounty runes here, but if the Tusk had the right idea. He got this rune, even though nothing spawned. But it means that the Ember Spirit knows, if he didn't have this ward, it knows from the Tusk rotation. This is a regen rune, and now we're in real trouble. Now we're in real trouble. The CS is pretty even, but this is a lane where Ember Spirit, it's a similar situation. We have the advantage early, ranged into melee, especially with no stat shield, and you lose it as it goes on, with Ember Spirit kind of, I would say, doing better across the map. So it's much more important that we win the early game. So if it's only even at best, and he's actually winning because of the kills, 3-0 versus 1-2-1, big discrepancy, or the opportunity to snowball is going to come from that. I was talking about things in general there, so I think I should go back here. So they do the same thing with Tusk. Necro's in a better situation. He's got a wand and he's got raindrops now, so he's harder to kill. But in a 2vs2 situation, this right here, as a counter ganker, Bounty can do okay because he's got again invis and he's got a slow. So you can just be in the right spot and bait them in for them to overextend. That's probably the situation that you want to create as a bounty hunter in a 2vs2 or greater situation. So again, you see us just walking at them doesn't really work, right? This 3 levels in Flame Guard is super powerful. Does he get the kill? No. No, he's got stick and bottle. So we get baited in again a little bit. I think, yeah, they kill me. That is like that. So it's a 3 for nothing. And at that point, 5 minutes in, little celebration. He's a happy boy witch doctor. I'll replay that again. Awesome. Come on. There we go. Yeah, that is what the Radiant team are thinking to themselves. We've won the lane, we've won the game. Pretty much, as is. Ease lane, ease game. So yeah. To summarize this game, things that you've seen that I've done wrong, not playing around the objectives, and I don't think I used my sentry well either. In the first game, I got the sentry perfectly. I got the sentry first opportunity, and that made the lane more dangerous for us, or better for us. This game I didn't. But yeah. So yeah, objectives, man. The objectives being the mid lane. The mid laner himself is the objective in some sense. Look at this, we missed our time. Level 6, Our own level 6 on Necro could have killed him. Doesn't. So that's little snowball effects. If our lane went a little bit better, if I spotted out that Witch Doctor gank and stopped the first death, Necro probably would be level 6 right now, yeah? So, that gank would have been better. So yeah, the objective of the mid laner himself and that sentry dominance is pretty important, as well as wards. I was gonna say lucky, but I wasn't really lucky last game. But I was fortunate with scoping out the no, fortunate, same thing, whatever. I was fortunate with scoping out the line, getting these 2 runes, and we got a water advantage. This game doesn't happen. This game they get these 2 runes, and I don't see them getting placed, so I don't know that they're there. And these runes, like, I haven't seen river ward runes being this effective in a long time, and it's actually changed my opinion on them. For the first 10 minutes, in a situation like this, where your mid laner needs rotations, needs lane dominance, needs rune dominance, river wards, man. Yeah, of course, why not? So yeah, again, same thing again here. This is probably the end of where I'm gonna analyze, but again, same thing. I'm gonna go back. This Ember is at 8 minutes. He's here. This should mean that I get this rune, or at least, if the rune was here, I give myself the chance at getting this rune. But I'm playing the wrong objective. I'm trying to shadow the Witch Doctor at that point. So yeah, lots to learn from these 2 games. I think that summarized everything in this game. Again, missed that timing, even though it does have level 6. The Ember Spirit can just play fine. He's fine. So yeah, roughly even. Imagine how much better this game would have gone if that mid lane went a little bit better. If I played my role a little bit better. It would have been much more like this. And from here, it's much easier to keep that going rather than lose it out. So yeah, I think last thing I want to emphasize is bringing back to Bounty's role, and Bounty's role as that +1 hero, being in the right spot at the right time. It's very, very rare that you're going to win a 1v1 unless you out-level and out-farm on Bounty, which in some sense is true of all heroes, right? But I feel it as Bounty because you're also quite often under-leveled. At least the way I'm playing, I need to improve on that personally, but I'm finding myself under-leveled too much as a roaming hero. But yeah, so it's less likely that you'll win a 1v1 unless you're against like a weak support. So what you want to do is create situations where you have numerical or some kind of skill advantage. And a 2 vs 2 is not a situation where you can do that. A 2 vs 1 is. A 3 vs 2 kind of is. But yeah, a 2 vs 2, especially with heroes like Lion or Tusk, who have better harass and laning ability and better roaming ability in Tusk, or initiation ability. Yeah, so that's the mid lane, guys, or at least that's dual laning and how Bounty fits into that matter. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed commentating it. Look out for more content in the future. Hope you enjoy the rest of the Bounty Hunters Black Book. Cheers.